With 4th of July just 2 days away, I want to take a moment to tell you about something that happened right here in San Marcos, Texas yesterday that I think perfectly captures the spirit of this holiday. The San Marcos Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee, the VAAC, showed up to the City Council with a list of recommendations for how this city can do better for its veterans. Not just political points, not for headlines, just because they decided this community's veterans deserve more. And I want to make sure you know all about it, because the story of how the city treats its veterans tells you a great deal about the character of that community. And this community's character is something I am very proud of. Welcome back to Life Between Austin and San Antonio. I'm Larry Bammer, local realtor here in San Marcos with the local choice group at Real Broker. Yesterday, we celebrated Texas State becoming officially Pac-12. Today, on the eve of Independence Day weekend, I want to shift to a story that's a little quieter, but maybe even more meaningful. What San Marcos, Texas is doing to take care of the people who served this country. First, let me introduce you to the San Marcos Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee, the VAAC, because I think most residents, even longtime San Marcos residents, may not be fully aware of this group or the work they do. The VAAC is an advisory board to the San Marcos City Council, specifically on identifying the needs of the veteran population in this community and making recommendations for how this city can better serve them. They are not a government agency. They are community members who care enough about veterans to show up, study the issues, and bring real recommendations to elected officials. That is exactly the kind of civic work that makes this city more than just a collection of houses and roads. Last March, about 4 months ago, the VAAC began a formal process of identifying what veterans' issues needed to be addressed in San Marcos. They spent over 4 months organizing, researching, building a list of specific and actionable recommendations. And on July 1st, yesterday, they presented that list to the City Council. That presentation is what I want to tell you all about today. Here's what the VAAC brought to the City Council. Their recommendations centered on 5 core areas where San Marcos can do more for its veteran community. Veteran homelessness is one of the most urgent issues in the veteran population nationally and locally. San Marcos has a significant unhoused population, and veterans are overrepresented in that population in most Texas cities. The VAAC is asking the city to take more active role in connecting homeless veterans with affordable, available resources and housing support. Rental assistance is number 2. Many veterans, particularly those transitioning out of service or dealing with service-connected disabilities, struggle with housing stability, even when they have income. The VAAC is recommending that the city explore and expand rental assistance programs specifically available to veterans in San Marcos. Number 3 is transportation. Access to VA healthcare and services requires transportation that many veterans, particularly elderly or disabled veterans, do not have. Getting to the Austin VA clinic or other care facilities from San Marcos can be a significant barrier. The VAAC is asking that the city explore transit options that specifically help veterans reach their care. Number 4, healthcare access. Related to transportation, veterans often have VA benefits available to them, but they cannot practically access care facilities. The VAAC is recommending that the city engage more actively with the VA healthcare system and veteran service organizations to bridge those gaps locally. Hays County Veterans Memorial improvements. The Veterans Memorial in San Marcos is a meaningful gathering place for the community, particularly around Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and even 4th of July. The VAAC wants to improve and expand it as a living tribute to those who served. No city funding has been identified yet, but the committee is considering a fundraising campaign to make those improvements happen through community donations rather than taxpayer funds alone. So stay tuned for that information. That is the kind of community-funded civic investment that tells you something real about this place. There's one more piece of the story worth knowing. The director of public works for San Marcos told the council that a transit study currently underway with the Texas Department of Transportation can be specifically scoped to include transportation for veterans, particularly travel to and from the healthcare facilities. That is a meaningful opportunity. If the transit study incorporates veteran-specific transportation needs, San Marcos could end up with dedicated or priority transit options for veterans built in specifically into city long-range transportation plan. That would be a real tangible improvement for veterans living in this community, not just a symbolic gesture. Let me give you some broader context on veterans in this region, because I think it's important for you to understand why the VAAC work matters. Hays County and the broader Austin to San Antonio corridor are home to a significant veteran population. San Antonio, just 50 miles south, is home to Fort Sam Houston, Lackland Air Force Base, Randolph Air Force Base, and massive military retiree communities, making the San Antonio Metro one of the most veteran-dense regions in the entire country. Many of those military families and veterans live along our I-35 corridor, San Marcos, Kyle, Buda, and New Braunfels, because of the affordability and quality of life. Compared to San Antonio or way up in Austin, when those veterans choose this corridor as their home after service, they choose communities that they believe would take care of them. So the work that the VAAC, identifying gaps in housing, in transportation, healthcare access, and memorial recognition, is the work of making sure that promise is kept. Now, I want to speak directly to our military families and veterans who might be considering this corridor as a place to plant roots, because this is a significant part of my buyer work, and I want you to hear clearly. San Marcos, Kyle, Buda, and New Braunfels have been destination communities for veterans and active military family members transitioning out of the San Antonio installations for years. VA loan eligibility is one of the most powerful home buying tools available to you. Zero down payment, competitive rates, no private mortgage insurance. On this corridor, median home prices range from, let's say, $307,000 in New Braunfels to $480 in Dripping Springs. A veteran loan can be transformational for a military family's ability to build equity instead of paying rent. I worked with so many VA loan buyers along this corridor, and I want military families to know specifically, I understand the VA loan process. I know how to write competitive offers using VA financing. And I am honored, absolutely honored, to work with people who have served this country in finding a home that honors that service. So if you are a veteran or active duty service member looking along this corridor, please reach out. I would love to help. This is exactly the kind of buyer me and my team love working with. So tomorrow's July 3rd. The day after is the 4th of July, the holiday where we set aside to celebrate the freedom that generations of American service members have protected and preserved. Here in San Marcos, Texas, a group of community volunteers just spent 4 months building a list of recommendations to make sure veterans are housed, have transportation to their health care, and are honored with a memorial worthy of their sacrifice. That is the spirit, the true spirit of this holiday. Not just the fireworks, but the commitment to the people who made those fireworks possible. I'm Larry Bammer. with Real Broker at the Local Choice Group, and this is Life Between Austin and San Antonio. Happy early 4th of July to every veteran, active service member, and military family in this community. Drop a comment if you're a veteran who lives in this corridor. I'd love to meet with you and hear your story. Subscribe for our daily news from all 4 counties, and I'll see you after the weekend holiday.